Time travel has fascinated humanity for centuries, appearing in ancient myths, science fiction, and even modern scientific theories. But could it be real? Are there actual cases of time travel that suggest it has already happened? In this video, we'll explore 12 of the most convincing theories and cases that might prove time travel is more than just fiction. The mystery of John Titor, a time traveler from 2036. One of the most famous time travel cases is that of John Titor, an alleged time traveler who appeared on internet forums in the year 2000. He claimed to be from the year 2036, sent back in time to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer, which he said was needed to fix a future computing problem. Titor shared detailed knowledge of physics, including discussions on black holes, time machines, and parallel universes. He also made predictions, such as a coming civil war in the US and a nuclear conflict in 2015. While his prophecies didn't come true, some argue that he came from a different timeline, where these events actually happened. His technical explanations and historical knowledge of computing impressed many experts, leading some to wonder if he was real. Others believe it was an elaborate hoax, but to this day, the mystery of John Titor of alleged time travel. The Philadelphia Experiment, a U.S. Navy time travel secret. The Philadelphia Experiment is one of the most controversial time travel theories, claiming that the U.S. Navy accidentally transported a ship through time during a secret experiment in 1943. According to legend, the U.S. Eldridge was being tested for invisibility using a powerful electromagnetic field, but something went wrong. The ship reportedly vanished from its location and reappeared hundreds of miles away in Norfolk, Virginia, before returning to its original position minutes later. Some reports claim that sailors were fused into the metal of the ship, while others say they traveled to different points in time. While the U.S. Navy denies the experiment ever happened, conspiracy theorists believe it was a classified time travel experiment that went horribly wrong. Some even suggest that survivors of the event were later silenced or erased from records. Could this be evidence that time travel experiments have already happened? Or is it just another exaggerated urban legend? The Man from Tord, a time traveler from another timeline. One of the strangest time travel stories involves a mystery man at an airport. In 1954, a businessman arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport with a passport from a country called Tord, a place that does not exist. Airport officials were baffled. The man insisted that Tord was a real country, located between France and Spain, and that he had visited Japan multiple times before. His passport had authentic stamps, and he even provided official company documents backing his claim. When officials placed him in a hotel room under surveillance, he vanished overnight, along with all his documents. No explanation was ever found. Some believe he was a time traveler from a parallel universe, where Tord was a real country. Others argue it was a hoax, but the lack of records or explanations makes it one of history's most intriguing cases of possible accidental time travel. The Montauk Project, a government time travel program. The Montauk Project is one of the most mysterious and controversial theories about time travel. According to whistleblowers and conspiracy theorists, the U.S. government conducted classified experiments on time travel, teleportation, and mind control at Montauk Air Force Station in New York during the 1980s. One of the key figures behind this claim is Preston Nichols, a man who said he worked on the project and later wrote books detailing his experiences. He described a time tunnel that allegedly allowed people to travel through time and even visit other dimensions. Nichols also claimed that children were kidnapped for psychological experiments and that scientists experimented on advanced time travel technology linked to the Philadelphia experiment. Adding to the mystery, some locals reported unusual activity around the base, such as strange lights, odd noises, and electromagnetic disturbances. Although many dismiss these claims as science fiction, others believe that Montauk is proof that the government has already unlocked the secrets of time travel, but is keeping it hidden from the public. Could the Montauk Project be the real-life inspiration behind time travel and popular fiction, like Stranger Things? Or is it just a wild conspiracy theory with no real evidence? The time-traveling hipster, a man out of his time, a black and white photograph taken in 1941, has sparked one of the biggest debates in time travel history. The image, captured at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in British Columbia, shows a young man who looks completely out of place compared to the crowd around him. While most people in the photo are wearing traditional 1940s clothing, this man is dressed in modern sunglasses, a printed graphic t-shirt, and what appears to be a compact camera. These items were highly uncommon, or even non-existent at the time. Because of this, the image was quickly nicknamed the time-traveling hipster. Skeptics argue that the man's clothing might have been ahead of its time, but not necessarily from the future. Others insist that his appearance is too strange to be explained by fashion trends alone. Some even suggest that the man may have been accidentally caught in a historical photograph while traveling through time. Whether you believe it's a case of time travel or just a coincidental outfit choice, this mysterious image remains one of the most popular evidences of time travelers caught in the past. The mysterious phone in a 1937 painting. Historical paintings often capture their era accurately, but one artwork from 1937 has left many puzzled. The painting, titled Mr. Pinkin and the Settling of Springfield, shows a group of settlers interacting with Native Americans. However, one strange detail stands out. A man appears to be holding a small rectangular object, resembling a modern-day smartphone. Many observers claim that he looks completely focused on the object, just like how people today stare at their screens. Some theorists believe that this could be evidence of a time traveler accidentally caught in history, using a phone or another advanced device. Of course, art historians dismiss this claim, suggesting that the object could simply be a small book or reflective surface. However, this is not the only case where time travel has been suggested in historical art. There are several other paintings, sculptures, and even old photographs that seem to depict modern technology appearing centuries before it was invented. So, could this painting be a coincidence, or is it hidden proof that time travelers have left traces throughout history? The time-traveling stock market genius. In 2003, a man named Andrew Carlson was arrested for what authorities called impossible financial gains. He reportedly turned $800 into $350 million in just 2 weeks, using extremely precise stock market predictions. During questioning, Carlson made an unbelievable claim. He said he was a time traveler from the year 2256 who had used knowledge of the future to make a fortune. He even offered to reveal historical secrets, such as the location of Osama bin Laden and a cure for AIDS, in exchange for his release. Strangely, after his bail was posted, Carlson disappeared without a trace. There are no public records of him existing before his arrest, and no one knows what happened to him afterward. Skeptics believe that Carlson's story was fabricated, possibly as a media hoax. However, some argue that the US government silenced him, or that he returned to his own timeline before being exposed. Could he have really been a time traveler who exploited his knowledge of the future, or was this just an elaborate story? The Charlie Chaplin Time Traveler. In 2010, filmmaker George Clark noticed something strange while watching a 1928 Charlie Chaplin film titled The Circus. During a scene showing a woman walking past a theater, she appears to be holding a mobile phone to her ear and talking into it. This discovery led to a huge debate. How could someone in 1928 be using a wireless communication device when cell phones were not invented until decades later? Some believe this is evidence of a time traveler accidentally caught on film. Others argue that she might have been using a hearing aid, which did exist in that era, though it wouldn't explain why she seemed to be speaking into it like a phone. Whether it was a real phone, an illusion, or a glimpse of time travel, this bizarre moment in a classic film remains one of the most famous pieces of alleged time travel evidence. The case of Rudolph Fentz, a man who vanished from the past. One of the most mysterious time travel stories is the case of Rudolph Fentz, a man who allegedly disappeared in 1876 and suddenly reappeared in 1950 in New York City. According to reports, a man dressed in 19th century clothing was seen wandering the streets of Times Square. He looked extremely confused and disoriented. Moments later, he was hit by a car and killed on the spot. When authorities investigated, they discovered that the man had ID cards, coins, and documents from the late 1800s, all in perfect condition. Further research found that Rudolf Fentz had actually gone missing in 1876, with no explanation for his disappearance. Skeptics say that this story originated as fiction, but no one has ever proven where the legend really came from. Could this be a case of a person accidentally slipping through time, or is it just an urban myth? The Moberly-Jourdan Incident. A journey to 18th century France. One of the most famous alleged time-slip experiences happened to two English women, Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdan, in 1901. While visiting the Palace of Versailles, they claimed to have unknowingly traveled back in time and encountered people from the 18th century, including Marie Antoinette herself. The two women were walking through the gardens of Versailles when they suddenly felt a strange atmosphere change. Everything went eerily silent, and the sunlight seemed dimmed. They noticed oddly dressed people, wearing antique clothing, who gave them unsettling stares. As they continued walking, they saw a woman sketching by the water, whom Moberly later identified as Marie Antoinette. The experience was so vivid that both women believed they had somehow stepped into the past. Years later, they wrote a book about their encounter, titled An Adventure. Skeptics argue that they may have been influenced by imagination, suggestion, or a hallucination. However, some believe this was a rare case of spontaneous time travel, where the two women briefly slipped into a historical moment frozen in time. Could places like Versailles hold residual echoes of the past, or did these women genuinely experience a real-life time travel event? The strange case of Håkan Nordqvist, a man who met his future self. In 2006, a Swedish man named Håkan Nordqvist claimed that he had accidentally traveled to the future and even met his older self. Nordqvist said that he was at home fixing a leak under his sink when he noticed that the space under the pipes seemed strangely deep. As he crawled further, he suddenly found himself in the year 2042. Standing before him was a 72-year-old version of himself. According to Nordqvist, they had a conversation, compared identical tattoos, and even took a video selfie together as proof. In the short clip, he is seen standing with an older man, both of them showing off the same tattoos. While many people believe his story is a hoax or viral marketing stunt, others argue that he may have unintentionally stepped through a time portal. Some also suggest that if time travel does exist, it may not involve machines, but rather natural anomalies or glitches in time itself. Was Nordqvist's story real, or was it an elaborate trick? Regardless, his claim remains one of the most bizarre modern time travel stories ever recorded. The bizarre tale of John Titor, the internet's time traveler. No discussion about time travel is complete without mentioning John Titor, one of the most famous and mysterious alleged time travelers. In 2000, a user named John Titor appeared on online forums, claiming to be a time traveler from the year 2036. Titor described himself as a soldier from the future, sent back to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer, which he said was needed to fix a coding issue in the future. He also made numerous predictions, including a US Civil War, a Third World War, and global disasters. Many of his predictions did not come true, leading skeptics to dismiss him as a hoax. However, others argue that his timeline may have diverged from ours, meaning he could have been telling the truth, but from an alternate version of the future. The most intriguing part, Titor vanished from the internet in 2001, leaving behind a legacy of speculation, unanswered questions, and one of the greatest time travel mysteries of the digital age. Was John Titor a brilliant hoaxer or a real-time traveler who left behind warnings for humanity? Time travel is one of the most exciting mysteries of science, history, and conspiracy theories. Whether any of these cases are real or just misunderstood moments, the possibility that time travel could exist continues to fascinate and amaze people worldwide. Do you believe time travel is possible? Have we already witnessed glimpses of it without realizing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into time travel theories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more mind-blowing content. Thanks for watching, and remember, the past, present, and future might be closer than we think.